Hello, and welcome to Ice is Slippery, an unserious podcast about hockey brought to you by 1.5 hockey fans. My name is Kate, and I'm the hockey fan.
And my name is Fred. I am half a hockey fan.
Good afternoon, Fred. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome.
It's nice. Things are maybe settling back into normal in the hockey world a little bit.
I guess so, yeah. I feel like last week was like a month of hockey.
Yeah, it was kind of like a fever dream almost. It seemed like it went on forever and was over in the blink of an eye.
Right. Yeah.
It was great, but I'm just kind of glad to have my normal boring hockey back in a way.
Yeah, there was less hockey, but it was more hockey for some reason.
It was concentrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a bouillon cube of hockey.
Yes, exactly.
It got real salty.
Yep.
I was like, listen, I'm old. I can't have this much sodium.
Exactly. Yeah, it was I don't know. It was a good week.
It was. I had fun.
It was exciting.
Overall.
And it seems like the world had fun with hockey this week.
Yes. I mean, some people took it too far, but that's just life.
That's the nature of people.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can sort of start by wrapping up Four Nations Face-Off.
Oh, my God. All right. Here we go.
So, yeah, the Four Nations Face-Off tournament happened. And I think overall we could say it was way better than everybody thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like big time.
I think just so many people hadn't really gotten to experience international hockey with NHL players because it's been so long since that happened.
Yep.
That nobody really knew what it would look like. Even the people who had seen it, 10 plus years ago, just didn't really know what to expect. And we're so used to the All-Star games where people hold back. It was so refreshing not to see the players holding back.
Yeah. I mean, right from the get-go, it was like, oh, we're playing real hockey.
Yeah.
Like real, like all out going for it. And that seemed to be shocking to some of the people that thought it was just going to be Kucherov messing around with the puck.
Right. Yeah. It was absolutely the opposite of that. It couldn't have been less like that.
Yeah. Nobody out golfing with hockey sticks. And
there were no dunk tanks.
No dunk tanks.
That was actually kind of sad. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, they could have added a dunk tank.
Yeah, that would have been great. But other than that, it was just a straightforward hockey tournament with, some national pride on the line, which upped the stakes a little bit, I feel like.
Yeah, totally.
So when we last left off, Team USA had clinched their spot in the championship game after setting up a group chat to invite people to fist fight them.
Yeah, that's what you do.
That's what you do.
Yep.
It's the modern age. And Finland and Sweden and Canada were tied with 2 points apiece.
Correct.
So there were 2 games left, and those games would sort of determine who would be facing off against the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday in the afternoon, Canada and Finland played.
Mm-hmm.
And this game, it was interesting going in because whoever won, if somebody won in regulation, then they would clinch their spot in the final.
Right.
So it would sort of negate whatever happened with the U.S.-Sweden game later that night.
Yeah, which is a little boring, right? I don't know. This round robin thing wasn't that exciting.
Yeah, I feel like they saved U.S. for the nighttime because it would be more exciting or whatever, but they didn't know U.S. would clinch, and I don't know. It didn't really work out necessarily the greatest, but it was exciting still at this point because we still didn't know which of the 3 nations would be going up against the U.S. So, yeah, the game was pretty high stakes. Canada had a lot to prove in this game because they're coming off of a loss from the United States.
The first game.
Yeah.
Right,
Canada had lost to the United States in their first matchup. So they had a lot to prove. And Finland was definitely feeling the effects of their sort of lack of defensive depth.
Yeah, no depth with them. Thanks to injury, right?
Miro Heiskanen and Rasmus Ristolainen both being gone. Really.
Yeah. And Hakanpää was not even in the mix. Or is he's Finnish, right?
Hakanpää is Finnish. He had made the lineup, but I think he was kind of always a question mark because he's only played 2 regular
He's been a question mark. He's been a question mark since the end of last season, right?
Yeah, no, he didn't. He went out on IR before the playoffs with the Stars last season, and we kept thinking we'd see him back in the playoffs, and we never did, and then he wasn't a Star anymore. So, yeah, that's all just been sort of big question marks. So I kind of never really counted on him for that, but I did count on Miro Heiskanen and Rasmus Ristolainen, and to not have them there was huge, especially Miro.
Yeah, definitely.
So Finland actually let Roope be a center this time. Roope Hintz be a center this time, which was really nice because the last time they had him on the wing. But they left him paired with Sebastian Aho, who he never really developed much chemistry with this tournament.
Yeah.
They also kept Kevin Lankinen in the goal.
Yep.
Because they had started him in the win against Sweden. But Canada looked really strong off the bat. A little over 4 minutes in, Connor McDavid stole the puck and took it on a little journey and totally bamboozled two defending players and scored a goal. I think you actually used the word bamboozled when we were watching the game.
Did I? Yeah.
I think you were like, he totally bamboozled them.
Yeah, it was a good looking goal. It was good, great Connor McDavid stuff. And yeah, just good stuff. And his excitement after it was like infectious.
Yeah, no, he's just been really happy this tournament. It's been really nice to see. And then maybe 45 seconds later, McKinnon stole a puck and scored another goal.
Yeah.
And then with 7 minutes left in the period, Braden Point scored a goal for Canada off of a primary assist from the Flyers' Travis Sanheim.
Right.
So coming into the second period, Canada was already up 3-0 over Finland. And during that intermission, all of the pundits, including myself on my couch, were like, well, he's got to pull Lankinen, right?
Right.
You know, and it wasn't all Lankinen's fault. Lankinen's an excellent goalie, but Finland's defensive shallowness is an issue.
Yeah.
So, but no, Finland just sent Lankinen back out again.
They did.
Which was a curious choice, you know.
Some of the coaching with Finland was curious.
Yeah, I obviously, I have no experience coaching or even playing hockey, so I don't know what I'm talking about at all. But I disagreed with some coaching decisions by those people who are way more qualified than I am to make those decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I do watch a lot of hockey, and I have a podcast.
You do have a podcast.
I have a podcast.
You're
so
kind of an expert.
I'm kind of an expert. So they did bring Lankinen back in to start the second period, but then 5 minutes into the second period, McKinnon scored off of a pass from Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
So at that point, they finally decided to pull Lankinen from the game and brought in Jussi Saros.
Mm-hmm.
And to his credit, Saros did great. I don't think that Finland scored any more goals, or I don't think that that Canada scored any more goals after that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good, but it just kind of felt like too little too late.
Yeah. They, I don't know. The energy just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Just didn't feel like it was going to happen for them.
It's hard to be, I think, 5 minutes into the second to be down 4-0. It's not a great place to be coming from.
No, it's tough. Yeah.
So Finland didn't give up, though. They did try really hard. Close to the end of the third period, there were about 7 minutes left in the game. My precious Esa Lindell scored a goal.
Yes, he did.
He did. I was so happy for him. That's all I wanted this tournament.
Yep.
I just wanted Esa Lindell to score a goal, and he did great. And then Mikael Granlund, our new Dallas star, scored a goal. And then 30 seconds later, he scored another one. So suddenly it was 4-3 out of nowhere with, a minute and change left on the clock.
Yeah.
So that was kind of crazy. And all of the anti-Binnington people were freaking out because
that's
they
what
went
they
from
do.
a 4-0 game to a 4-3 game in a matter of minutes.
Yeah. And I feel like I heard like that's kind of like something that happens sometimes with Canada, just letting things slip away.
Blowing a lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
having a nice comfy lead and then just giving it all away just for funsies.
Yeah. Granlund looked great.
Oh my God. He looked amazing.
Which was good because I don't feel like we've seen him that much with Dallas. Don't really know too much about him because he's fitting into that new system and this got to showcase him. So
yeah, I think we only had him for maybe 2-3 games before the Four Nations tournament. So we really haven't gotten to see him that much.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've seen him more in Four Nations than I have with the Stars.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see him back with the Stars and see how he slots in with all of that. So yeah. Anyway, they tried really hard to come back, but then unfortunately for them, Sidney Crosby laid a big open ice hit and they both went down. And then one of the Canadians picked up the puck and got it to Sid and he scored an empty net goal. And that was all she wrote.
Yeah.
And Canada beat Finland and knocked them out of the tournament and secured their spot in the finals.
Right. Yep. It was a reasonable game to watch.
It was. It wasn't like the most exciting all the way through, but Finland put up a great fight near the end.
Yeah.
And the Canada goals were great.
I was going to say, there was a lot of individual contribution.
Yeah. They were just fun things to watch.
Yeah. Like McKinnon looked great. Granlund looked great. There were some other people that looked good.
Yeah.
They have names.
McDavid.
Yeah. Him. Right.
Yeah. That guy.
Yep.
That underrepresented, under the radar guy, Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
Little up and coming hockey player.
Yeah. got to keep our eye on him. He might be something to watch.
Yeah, someday. So anyway, we had to say goodbye to Finland, but really, I think that their big victory in the tournament was they beat Sweden.
Yeah.
Which was great. So they didn't leave completely empty-handed, basically.
No.
They are the big brother now.
But you know who did leave empty-handed?
Who?
Miro.
Well, because Miro wasn't there.
Oh, not
You're
Miro.
talking about Rope.
Thank you.
You always get them confused.
Don't worry, I'll cut that out.
You won't. I know you won't.
No. Yeah, no, he was a ghost.
Rope was pretty invisible. I don't think it was necessarily his fault, but yeah, I don't think he even had any points or assists or anything.
I think he had some turnovers, though.
He did have at least one really bad one of those. So
yeah, what a bummer. I want success for him, too.
I do, too. I just think, again, going back to the Finland coaching, I just think they didn't have enough resources, but the resources they had, I don't think that they necessarily deployed correctly.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have at least seen them changed up when they were aware things weren't working, but...
Yeah, I think you were complaining about their power play when they were just doing the same thing over and over.
It was very Steve Spot coded.
Yeah. Anyway.
So later that evening, Sweden played the USA. And even though that game didn't really mean anything in terms of tournament standings, it was still a fun one to watch.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had some friends in that game. Jake Ottinger was in net.
Oh, I was like, we had friends in the game?
You know, like our pretend imaginary friends that live in the TV.
Yeah. The little guys on the ice.
Yeah, those guys.
All right.
So Jake Ottinger was in goal for the U.S. because they were resting Connor Hellebuck since, the tournament was clinched at that point.
Yeah, and he needed to show off his helmet.
Well, yeah, it was pretty sick helmet.
Yeah.
So Jake had the start for the U.S. And then for Sweden, Linus Ullmark was supposed to start, but he became ill. So Sam Ersson from the Philadelphia Flyers stepped in.
Hell yeah.
And he was a last-minute addition to the team after somebody else was sick or injured and not able to attend. So, and it sounded like Gustafsson could have played, but he was actually really happy for Ersson to get a chance to play and kind of show off for the national team.
Somebody said like, oh, it was his turn to go.
Yeah.
Like they were, it was nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. It was kind of like, it doesn't mean anything at this point. He's here in front of the national team. Like, let him show off and do his thing.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, Ersson did let in a goal 35 seconds in, which he probably should have had.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a very promising start.
Nope.
But Team USA was coming in with some issues. So Matthew Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, and Charlie McAvoy all sat out with injuries. So the U.S. only had 17 skaters to start instead of 18.
Right. And three of those were good.
Yes. No, they're all good, honestly. I know, Austin Matthews, it's fun to pile up on him. But,
I mean, he didn't do anything.
I mean, he did stuff. It wasn't necessarily good stuff, but he did it. Anyway, 5 minutes into the first period, Brady Tkachuk was playing kind of recklessly and lost an edge and careened into the goal and hit Ersson and the right goal post.
Mm-hmm.
He did try to come back into the game and played, maybe another shift or two.
Yeah, right.
And then he disappeared and was not back for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So that took them down to 16 skaters.
Yeah.
So that wasn't ideal for Team USA.
Right. And he was a huge contributor.
Yes. I mean, he has been all tournament, really.
That it didn't look like the worst fall and hit into the goal, but I guess it was bad.
It was on the angle that they showed it. It was like the way his foot hit the bar or something.
Oh, his foot.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like his side or something. Okay.
No, I think it was like the way his toe or something hit the post. I'd have to watch it again.
He was playing recklessly, though. You're right.
He came out high speed and physical. I think he wanted to compensate for the lack of Matthew, but it was like, bro, you're clinched. Like, you don't have to do this.
Right.
Like, I don't think he maybe has the strategic mind that his brother does.
Right.
He's just is like, oh, being big and physical and over the top is what made us get here. So let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, sweetie, no.
Yeah. Got to pick your battles.
Yeah. No, after the first Canada-US game, people really started paying attention to the tournament in a big way. And a lot of that was the fighting.
Yep.
And I think the Tkachuks maybe got a little high on their own supply.
That can certainly be a theory.
Yeah. They were feeling themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They got a little ahead of themselves.
They did. Yeah.
So that was unfortunate. So this, Sweden managed to sort of capitalize on all of the U.S.'s misfortunes. So with 6 minutes left in the first period, Gustav Nyquist tied up the game. And then with less than a minute left in the first period, Sweden pulled into the lead off of a goal from Jesper Bratt that Otter had no chance of getting. It was just insane. So for the first several minutes of the second period, they were interviewing Matthew Tkachuk during the broadcast because he was sitting out injured.
Right.
And I happen to enjoy Matthew's particular brand of rattery.
Yep.
I don't need to hear him talking while hockey is actively happening.
It was a little stupid. They just straight up ignored the game for the most part, except, when something would happen, Matthew would be like, oh, look, so-and-so.
He was literally the only person who was trying to make it about the game.
Right.
I would just keep asking him questions and he's like, real quick, on the ice, so-and-so just did this thing. And the announcers would be like, oh, what? There's a game happening?
Yeah.
It was the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen. Your professional broadcasters try to multitask.
Yeah.
You can't just switch into interview mode and then forget that you're supposed to be broadcasting a game. It's so stupid.
That does seem like, I don't know which, was it TNT or I don't know, but they did that again with somebody else that wouldn't shut up. And they did that at the Winter Classic too. Someone stop your interview when the hockey starts. Just stop it.
Yeah. Do it during the intermission or don't fucking do it.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody cares. Yeah. They did it with one of the GMs, maybe.
Right.
Bill Guerin or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Which again, I think Team USA.
Right.
And it's just can we please stop giving them a tongue bath?
Yeah. There was a lot of tongue bathing.
Bathing. I just don't want to think about tongues and baths or anything anymore. Actually, let's just move on.
Yeah.
But it was bad. It was just bad news. Bears.
Yeah, and it does seem like, I don't know, the Matthew Tkachuk future commentator, talking head management kind of person. They're already trying to set up that storyline.
I don't even know about that for him. I feel like he's going to be involved in NHL marketing. He is
nice. Yeah.
He's got a vision.
Yeah.
I think he just needs to keep an eye on the bigger picture and not get tunnel vision. But he certainly knows how to make people talk about the game and about him.
Yeah.
So I think if he can just corral that, it could be really good for the league. But it could also go really badly if he leans into it the wrong way, which he was, pretty borderline doing this week. But
he could certainly go down the wrong path very easily.
I could do a whole separate podcast on that, and I won't.
Yeah.
One good thing about the commentating, I will say, is that Brian Boucher was there. He's part of the Flyers broadcast team, so he's actually familiar with Sam Ersson and his story. So I feel like we got some insight into him that we wouldn't have necessarily gotten on the very U.S.-centric broadcast.
Yeah, Bouch was bringing a more balanced approach. He's just great. God, he should. I wish he just did every game.
He's so good.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy him. He's got such a good sense of humor.
Yep.
He's just funny. He's so
quick.
dry.
He's quick. Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah. No, and he's insightful with the goalies.
Yes. Yeah. Right. He has such a great perspective.
He's
on goalies.
He's like, what's his face? The guy with the beard.
Lundqvist?
No, the commentator guy, ex-goalie.
Henrik Lundqvist?
Oh, Henrik Lundqvist. Yeah. Him.
I didn't mean Nils Lundqvist.
Yeah, no.
I meant the other Lundqvist, who's the next goalie commentator.
Yeah, that guy. Anyway, he brings the insight too, which is nice. And both of them have had some bad takes, but anyway, Bouch is great. Love Bouch.
For sure. Absolutely. So in the end, Sweden won 2-1 because Team USA just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
They're, at this point, 16 skater. They lost Vincent Trocheck for a while, too. I think he broke his finger.
Yeah, Vinny. Vinny Trocheck.
Oh, yeah.
He was on our radar for the last couple weeks.
I know. He's just one of those people who just popped up. Now we can't get rid of him.
Yeah.
So Sam Ersson did make 32 of 33 saves in the game, and he was perfect on his high danger chances, which is great.
Ersson looked really good.
He looked so good.
He's looked good since the break, since January or whatever. But
yeah, and he was really battling through injuries for a while. So I think he's just really kind of found his footing.
Yep.
And I hope he can carry this momentum through for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because I think he really acquitted himself well on this stage.
Yeah. No, I think he aced the interview.
Yeah.
Yep.
He definitely did. So now we move on to Thursday, the championship round with Canada versus the U.S.
The game we've all been waiting for.
According to ESPN.
These other games are just get to Canada and the U.S. God.
So at a certain point, this tournament kind of blew up on the geopolitical scale.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too deep into this because I can barely believe that people want to listen to us talk about hockey. And they did not subscribe to our political podcast, which we don't have and will never have.
Right.
So I don't think that anybody really needs to hear our hot takes about that. But I will get real for a minute. And I think it's safe to say that we went to this tournament really neutral, actually.
We did. Yeah.
You know, we're both American, but I'm a very competitive person. I'm usually like, this is my team and I'm rooting for my team. And you're very much like, I just want to have a good game and have a good time and play really well and do this.
I just want to see a good game. That's it.
You just want to see a good game. And I really went into this tournament feeling that way because I liked players on every team.
Yeah.
And I was really sort of happy with whatever the outcome was. You know, there were people I could root for anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. We're invested on both sides somewhat equally. It depends. Yeah. So
yeah, I could always find a reason to cheer for somebody.
Yep.
But I will say that by the end of the week, it was pretty much impossible to not be cheering for Canada.
I don't know what the
outside forces,
the propaganda,
the narrative. Propaganda is a good word for it.
It was just so like
it was over the top.
It was over the top. It became too much,
especially in the last game when ESPN just kept running this like clips of Miracle over and over again,
over and over.
But cutting to like, you know, instead of the guys from the Miracle movie, it was the U.S. team.
That just pushed me over the edge.
And I've said this online and I'll say it again. What they didn't realize with this narrative is that in this version, America is the villain.
Right.
Like they don't understand like how it's perceived on the greater scale.
Right.
Like, if this is a reboot, it's a very gritty reboot.
Yeah. No, it just didn't forced. They're like, yeah, I don't know.
They weren't reading the room.
No, not at all.
Yeah. This is the marketing thing where I feel like Matthew Tkachuk's great at getting eyeballs on the NHL, but he didn't pick the right storyline to throw his weight behind.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So another thing that made it easier to root for Canada, besides just, you know, shit getting too weird, was that Thomas Harley stepped in as a late substitution for Josh Morrissey, who was very ill.
Yeah.
So he had joined the tournament late after Shea Theodore left the tournament early with an injury.
Yeah, he went LTIR.
Went LTIR on us. And then he didn't play. And then I think he wasn't expected to play the last game. But since Josh Morrissey was ill, he came in. And then Otter, you know, is still on Team USA, but he wasn't playing in that game.
Yeah.
Since Harley was on the ice and Otter wasn't, it felt a little easier for me to be like, yay, Canada.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but he wasn't trying to shoot on his buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was a little easier for me to sort of genuinely root for him. Also, you know, Thomas canceled his vacation with Wyatt, so he has to bring him home a nice souvenir.
Absolutely.
So, you know, get him a nice medal.
Yeah. And it does sound like his girlfriend was going to go with them too. So she also missed out on a trip.
Yes.
But the story was definitely that him and Wyatt not on the trip.
Yeah, that's all we care about. I'm sure Thomas's girlfriend is a perfectly nice lady too, but we're mostly concerned about Wyatt.
Yeah.
We just didn't want him to get lost in Cabo.
Yeah, no. Well, we found out though there were other people that were on the trip, so he didn't just go by himself.
That is a relief.
Yeah.
So good to know.
Yep.
But presumably Thomas Harley's girlfriend did not go with them.
Probably not. That
would be weird. Anyway, since Canada was the away team, they got to submit their lines first. So they made it clear basically that they weren't going to do all the fighty stuff that U.S. did in the last game.
Right.
They're just like, we're putting out our top line of our skilled guys. So if you put out your fighty guys, you're going to look like a dick.
Exactly. They dropped the gloves.
Against like Connor McDavid.
McDavid's like, what? No.
I don't do that.
That'd be great.
No, thank you. Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm up and coming superstar, Connor McDavid. I'm going to be a big deal. So the U.S. kind of had no choice but to just put out their top line and just play hockey.
It's just straight up hockey.
Just straight up hockey and not whatever WWE nonsense that the USA had been trying to go for before.
Yep.
So Connor Hellebuck was back in the net for the U.S. and Binnington was once again starting for Canada. He was the only Canada goalie to ever get any playtime.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were absolutely distraught because Binnington is so streaky. But Canada ultimately got on the board first. 5 minutes into the first period, our very own Thomas Harley got the puck to Nathan MacKinnon, who did some absolute witchcraft and scored a goal. And I've watched this goal like dozens of times, and I can still barely process the footwork that he does on it.
This is the one with the assist from Harley.
Yes.
So I made notes during this game, and I said bonkers shot from McKinnon.
Yeah, no, he got the pass, and then he just kind of skated through. Like I just can't.
Yeah.
It's like impossible to verbalize.
Yeah, no, he threaded a needle through all kinds of traffic that just seemed absolutely impossible. And it was a great assist from Harley. So
Nathan McKinnon's very good at hockey.
Turns out he's a beast.
I'm no expert, but I think it's safe to say he's very good at hockey.
Yeah.
With 3 minutes left to go in the first period, Brady Tkachuk tied the game up and celebrated in this way that makes you laugh every time you see it in the replay.
Oh, yeah. God.
Just, he's very over the top.
I wrote down his first goal was pure raw talent, but his celly was awkward AF.
Yeah, it was very, very goofy.
It was just too, it was like, I don't know, it was like roid rage or something. It was just weird looking. It's like, dude, chill.
It was like he had done lines of Monster Energy drink before coming onto the ice. I don't know how the physics of that works, but somehow that's what he had done.
He was in an energy drink ad, and it was awkward, and I didn't like it. Like he could have like popped blood vessels in his eyes or something.
Oh yeah, no, I was concerned about his cardiovascular health for sure.
Yes.
It didn't seem very good.
Not a good look.
No, not in the slightest.
Least favorite celly of the year.
And there have been some bad ones.
Yeah.
So we came into the second period tied at 1 apiece, and about 8 minutes into the period, Jake Sanderson gave Team USA their first lead of the game. And that was kind of funny because Jake Sanderson was the person who came in to replace Quinn Hughes when he was too injured to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then for a minute after Charlie McAvoy was ruled out of the tournament for being too injured, there was all these rumors that Quinn Hughes might be back. And by rumors, I mean Team USA coach Mike Sullivan was like, Quinn Hughes is totally going to come back. Yeah. Spoiler alert, he did not. He was not medically cleared.
Right.
But people were joking about how Jake Sanderson was going to get kneecapped so Quinn Hughes could play in the final game. But luckily, his kneecaps were left alone, and they let him play in the game, and he scored a goal. And
nice.
So that was really nice. But then 6 minutes later, Canada tied it up again off of goal from Sam Bennett, which was set up by Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
So we went into the third period tied 2-2. So it's a really tight game all the way through.
Yeah, it was like a normal hockey game, but like super high talent, super fast.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
It
wasn't the highest scoring of games, but like that didn't make it any less fun to watch.
No, and I feel like for the non-hockey fans that tuned in for this, like this game wasn't as good as the fighty fight game.
Right, because the fighting was fun.
Yeah, that game was super high energy, and everyone went all out and injured themselves.
Right. Well, Brady Tkachuk did try to like lay some hits here and there, but nobody else was really interested in playing that kind of game.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like.
Yeah, he laid like 2 hits down on the boards that were pretty funny to watch.
Yeah, I think he got Harley pretty good one time, but everyone just kind of ignored him. And near the end of the second period, Matthew Tkachuk went off the ice and then never came back on and just sat on the bench for the rest of the game.
Right.
So remember, he had sat out injured for the Sweden game, and then he came back, but I guess he was not well enough to play through the whole game, which some people have some complaints about because they did scratch Kyle Connor, who is, I think, from the Jets.
Okay.
So he could have played and stayed in for the whole game.
Oh, I didn't even know about this.
So people are a little upset because they either think that Matthew Tkachuk insisted on playing even though he wasn't well enough, or they're upset that maybe the Team USA medical staff didn't realize that Matthew wasn't going to be able to sustain through a whole game.
Well,
so either way.
I guess we'll never know because that's just people making things up.
Yes. Much like we do on this podcast, actually. So speculation. So in OT, Jordan Binnington turned in the kind of performance that he is known for in these situations.
Yep.
It's why Team Canada sticks with him, even though he can be streaky. When it's time, he just comes up clutch in a big way.
Yep.
So he made some really spectacular saves in OT. Just highlight reel, like career highlight reel saves.
Yeah. Yeah. He looked locked in, which like you were saying, like he can do that, but he doesn't do it all the time.
Yeah. But it's like when it matters.
Right.
God damn. Like, there he is. He shows up.
I think it has something to do with his water bottle routine. His, like, he's like contacting the spirits or something with the way his water bottle, like, what, I don't know what you call that.
Baptism?
Squirts it on the ice, squirts in his face, down his back, on the ice, over to the left, to the right. He's got just a whole system. Yeah.
It's peculiar even by goalie standards. We'll say that. There is a great clip going around of John Cooper on the bench yelling, "Be selfish and shoot it in the net." And then he goes, "Marner, McDavid, you're out." And then on that play, Mitch Marner gets the puck to McDavid, who shoots the puck and scores the game-winning goal.
Couldn't be a better ending to that than McGriddle scoring the winning goal.
It was so perfect. It was really, the NHL script writers, it was an obvious ending, but it was really satisfying.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's that obvious ending that you're like, but maybe they're going to trick us because he's, cursed or whatever.
He was like the happiest I've ever seen him. Like, he seemed like a burden had been lifted off of him.
Yeah.
It felt for a moment like hockey Sisyphus was not pushing the rock.
No. He was pushed that rock down the hill, or I don't know.
It got up to the very top of the hill and he got to let go of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was great. He was just so happy. He was ebullient. He was bubbly.
Yeah.
It was great. There's all these great pictures of him like grinning and hugging McKinnon, and then like having these like very long embraces with Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
We were all a little worried about Leon Draisaitl's mental health, seeing his
right.
seeing his bro being all broy with the other bros.
Yep.
But Leon Draisaitl, of course, just did the most romantic thing in the world, and on his Instagram stories just posted 97 after the game, which is Connor McDavid's number.
Yeah.
Which is just, it's so like German. Somebody else might have been like, "Oh, I'm so proud of my friend, and this is what they did, and he worked so hard." And no, Leon Draisaitl is just like 97, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's like a novel."
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it just says so much about him and them and their relationship. I just love how much they love each other. It's very sweet. So yeah, Canada won. I was really happy.
Yeah, I was too.
Happy.
Yeah.
It felt like a really nice ending after what had turned into kind of, unfortunately, a circus sideshow for a couple of days.
Yeah, no, it was a great ending. It was a good game. Either team could have won, obviously. I mean, any of these teams could have won. I've seen the NHL before, so it was great. I do feel like a lot of players put their name on the map in a way that, like, they've been on a map, but it's like a little map, and now they're like on the bigger map or something.
Yeah, like Jacob Slavin from the U.S.
Slavin had a block that was like stupid sick.
Yeah, no, he's great. He, I think, is now up there with S. Lindell amongst defensive defensemen.
Yeah. I've heard the name, but like now I know the name.
Yeah.
And then Kreider was there too. And I now understand why he's a liability.
I was gonna say, like, oh no, what did you notice about Chris Kreider? But yes, he is in fact a liability.
Like they benched him, right? Or for healthy scratched him for like a couple games, and I was like, isn't he a big name? And now I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah, like he did score a goal, like I think against Sweden.
Sure, yeah.
But other than that, he was a
liability.
Yeah, it was not ideal.
And then as well, just one thing you said that Austin Matthews has resting mournful face. And I just wanted to just say that.
I don't even remember the context for that, but yeah, he does. He looks like a mortician in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Just from like those pictures.
If he went to like an old timey photo place, people would think it was real.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'd be like, wow, 100%. Look at this old photo.
Yeah. He'd be like, I just got that done at a Wild West town when I was on vacation. They're like, no, this is clearly your great grandfather. And he's like, it's literally me.
Yeah. Him as an undertaker. That's a pretty cool thought.
Yeah.
I think you could sell that.
I could fully see that.
Yep.
And he'd be like, hi, it's me, Austin, your Undertaker.
Hi, it's me, Austin. Can our opening be that?
Maybe.
Get rid of this lo-fi music and just have Austin.
That'd be pretty great. So, there are definitely some takeaways from the tournament. I mean, when the first game Thomas Harley came in, I saw somebody on Reddit type, who is Thomas Hanley? So I feel like we've come a long way from that already.
Yeah.
People who were not familiar with him at all are like, that guy's real good. Can we have him? And the Dallas fans are like, over my dead body.
Right. Yeah.
So,
nope.
Yeah, it was great.
Very good. And and they were the away team. They were in Boston, which Connor McGriddle said he liked being the away team, which was interesting. And then they did the whole ceremony there, which I felt was maybe awkward for the U.S. people.
A lot of them left, but there were a lot of Canadian fans too, which was nice. Yeah, I feel like with Connor being happy to be on the away team, A, it was because they got to send out their top line. Like, they got to set their lineup first, so they got to sort of set the tone. But B, like, between Connor and like Nathan McKinnon, they're such masochists. Like, they're used to like being booed.
Yeah.
And self-flagellating. So like for them, it really felt good to be in a hostile environment. So it could really like help them to feel sufficiently like chastised.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. No, it was great.
But the ceremony was really nice. It was great to see.
It was, actually.
Sidney Crosby beaming and singing "O Canada."
Yep.
I'm really happy for him. You know, some people would have liked to see him score the game-winning goal, but he's had that moment. It was nice for McDavid to have his opportunity.
Right. You were saying kind of a passing of the torch.
Yeah, much like we had another passing of the torch when Brad Marchand gave TK a piggyback ride onto the ice.
Love that.
So it was like the passing of the Ratman torch.
Yes.
Yeah, I was really bummed that TK, Travis Konecny, was healthy scratched in the last game.
Yes.
I really thought he could have been great if the U.S. was trying to play that physical game. I really thought he and Brad Marchand on the same line in the Finland game had been great at,
the Ratman line.
The Ratman line, they'd, sort of really shown their Ratman energy combined could be powerful.
Right.
So I kind of thought it was a mistake to leave TK out. But it was awesome because he didn't have his skates on. He had his dress shoes on. And they didn't like put out a rug or anything.
Right.
For the players to walk up to go get their medals.
Yep.
So Brad Marchand was like, hop on, and gave TK a piggyback ride up to go get his medal, which was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Literally the best.
It was so cute.
Yep.
And then, of course, he dropped him off and then he like accidentally ditched TK. And so TK still had to like shuffle off the ice in his shoes.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. It was great. I like Brad Marchand now.
Yeah.
It's official.
Yeah,
He's joined my little cabal of rat men.
Man, how the times have changed.
Yeah, it's brutal. I don't know who I am anymore.
Nope.
But yeah, no, it was great. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah,
Yep.
Good time. Great oldies.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm happy that we're back into regular hockey season.
Oh my God. The week felt like a month, and it wasn't grueling, but it was a lot.
It was intense.
Yeah.
I will say there was a little bit of other news. I'm going to skip over most of it, but there is one thing that kind of ties into Four Nations. So on Friday, the Minnesota Wild GM said that Kirill Kaprizov will be out longer than anticipated due to a lower body injury. He's been out for part of this season.
What did you call him? Kaprizov?
Yeah.
I thought it was Kaprizov.
I think it's Kaprizov, but maybe it's Kaprizov.
Okay.
I don't know. I've heard it both ways.
Well, why do I call him Capri Sun then?
I mean, that's just what people call him. Anyway, Kaprizov will be out longer than anticipated.
Yeah.
In related news, a reporter suggested that there may be some concerns about whether Matthew Tkachuk's season is over after the tournament.
Oh, God, really?
Yes. And the reason I say related news is because Tkachuk, of course, played through injury at Four Nations and was cleared by the Team USA medical team, who was also the Minnesota Wild medical team.
Oh, boy.
And that same Team USA medical team also treated Charlie McAvoy for an injury, which ended up getting infected, and he was hospitalized and had to be on IV antibiotics.
Yeah, they gave him like a dirty cortisone shot or something.
I don't know what happened, but
gross.
Yeah, so now there's definitely talk of like, does the Minnesota Wild medical staff know what they're doing?
Maybe.
What's happening?
Maybe not. Are they real doctors?
Who knows? But
did they pass their boards with ChatGPT?
These are the questions.
Yeah.
So breaking, hard-hitting journalism.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that about Tkachuk.
Yeah. So that just came out last night. And again, this is just like a random reporter. I haven't seen any confirmation of this.
Interesting.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It might be fine next week, but
who knows?
But yeah, it's just interesting after all the McAvoy shenanigans, to the point where like the Bruins released a statement where like, yeah, his care was not good. And perhaps there should be independent physicians at these events going forward.
Yeah, because everyone's going to be like, oh, they're out to sabotage him. They're sticking. Nobody's doing that.
Nobody's doing that. But the fact that there's maybe a couple of bad things coming out of the tournament.
Yeah.
Coupled with one of their own stars maybe not looking good.
Yeah.
But also, it could totally be coincidental.
It could be.
It could be.
Or they could be devious.
They could be.
Yeah.
But probably not.
No, I don't think so.
All right. But anyway, let's move on to our teams, because our teams are back, our little friends.
Yeah, it was nice to see a regular hockey game.
It was really nice to see a regular hockey game.
I think I watched like all of them.
You did. You really stayed there for most of them.
Yeah. I missed like 3-4 minutes here, 5 minutes there, but like...
The vast majority for both of them. And you were there.
I was there.
Yeah. So the Flyers played yesterday morning or early afternoon, depending on your time zone. Oh, I will say this doesn't really have anything to do with the game, but I do think it was nice that the Oilers were already basically in or en route to Philly as the Four Nations tournament ended when everybody was leaving Four Nations. So Philly management invited McDavid to ride along on the team charter plane with them. So since that's where, the Oilers were playing the Flyers in Philly.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really nice gesture. But it also kind of has the energy of trying to squeeze a fourth kid into the back of your mom's station wagon, but you only have 3 seatbelts. If you grew up in the 80s, you know what I'm talking about.
You just share a seatbelt. It's fine.
Exactly. You just pull it out. See? You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, as much as I overall enjoyed Four Nations, it was so great to see the teams again. And I feel like the break really worked wonders for some players.
Yeah, it sure did.
Chief among them, Matvei Michkov.
Michkov looked ready to go. Ready to go.
Like, it's not a secret that he has sort of plateaued a little bit. And John Tortorella has been like, he's a child and he's not used to the 82 game season.
Right.
Like, he is very tired and he needs a break.
Yeah.
He's been saying that. So, he decided to take it easy, lay low, and recharge by going to Dubai.
That's what most people do when they just want to have a nice, relaxing vacation, go to Dubai.
Oh, to be 19.
Oh, my God.
That's restful, is flying like 20 hours to Dubai.
Yeah.
For like a vacation.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's a lifestyle I don't think we're going to get to experience.
Probably not. And that's okay. So he came out to the game in beast mode. He opened up the scoring a minute and a half into the first period by using Tippett as a decoy and then cleaning up his own rebound.
Yeah.
7 minutes into the period, former Dallas star John Klingberg, who plays for the Oilers now, scored a goal that Urson probably should have had. Mm-hmm. And then a few minutes later, Draisaitl would score and give the Oilers their first lead. So after the first period, Oilers are up 2-1.
Yep.
Kind of like, ooh, that's not great. But
I mean, Urson, I think, just likes to let one goal in so he knows what he's dealing with.
Yeah, just to kind of lull them into a false sense of security.
Yeah, but that was a rough. But they still looked good.
They did. They looked really strong.
Yeah,
really right out the gate.
Yep.
So the second period started, and a few minutes in, Owen Tippett tied it up again with a really classic Owen Tippett goal, where he just got the puck and just hauled ass up the ice. Like, he is so fast for how big he is.
Right.
And he just picked his spot and got it in perfectly.
Yep.
And it was Charlie O'Connor, who's one of the Flyers beat writers, who was just like, this is the thing that makes Tippett kind of controversial with certain fans, is like, he does stuff like that, but it's like not all the time.
Not all the time, no.
It's, it's like once every 10 or 20 plays.
Yeah.
Like, God, when he does it, it's so freaking good.
Was that the backhand shot?
Yes.
It was.
Where he just shot it right off the backhand and didn't do forehand backhand.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, he has jets and he can turn them on.
Yes.
It doesn't always result in Duchesne level turning the jets on, but
yeah, no, they put up like his stats about his speed and like his speed bursts. And it's like, out of like people who have 20-mile-per-hour speed bursts in the league, like on average, players have like 59 of them. Mm-hmm. He has 214.
Right.
Like, the man can fucking skate.
Yeah.
So it just, you got to also be precise when you're doing those breakaway kind of runs like that. And he just isn't always as precise as he was, but it was a beautiful goal.
It was, yeah. And
Loved it.
I don't know what I think about him. He's kind of meh to me. I don't know if it's his personality and his face or something. But
you just don't like other redheads.
I don't know about that.
Redheads are, you guys are naturally inherently suspicious of each other.
No, he's just real bland or something.
I want to like him more. I just want him to get to that next level. And he's not the Robertson of the Flyers.
No.
Because he like has a lot more like intensity, I guess. But he needs more consistency.
He doesn't seem to be playing up to his pay scale.
I can maybe go along with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Like if he delivered consistently, then sure.
That'd be fine.
But like when it's just sort of glimpses, I need more.
You need more.
I need more. I'm hungry.
Yep.
So Matthias Ekholm scored a minute later, thanks to some great playmaking from Draisaitl. So halfway through the second period, we were tied 3-3. But this is the point where the Flyers just really took control of the game. So Torts had been running a line of Michkov, Sean Couturier, and Owen Tippett, and they were a force.
Yeah.
Like Tippett and Michkov had been paired in the games earlier in the season and hadn't really vibed. I don't know if Couturier had been paired with them before, but something about them, they just like vibed like crazy.
Yeah.
So Couturier stripped a puck, got it to Michkov, who used like crazy vision to get it to Tippett, who scored. So
yeah, you want to like playmaker. My God.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And he's only 19, but like he's making things happen.
Yeah. No, the hockey IQ is insane.
Didn't he had 3 points for that game, right?
I think so.
2 points and a goal.
Yeah.
Or an
2 assists and a goal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Something like that.
His second 3-point game.
Yeah. Then the Flyers went on the power play. And our new friend, Andrei Kuzmenko.
Oh, my God.
Was so good on the power play.
What a guy.
He did this neat little backhand dish pass to TK, who put the puck towards the net. And then Kuzmenko had this perfect redirect to get it in. And, you know, the Flyers power play has been a struggle bus.
Yeah.
But
the strugglest of the buses.
The struggliest bus of all. But I mean, it was just so good. And then it was so cute. As soon as it went in, he just kind of like let go of his stick.
He did.
And then he like waved his little fists in the air and he was so happy.
Yeah, the no stick celly. That's a new one.
It was the cutest celly I've ever seen in my life. Like even Boucher and Jim Jackson were just like, I've never seen that before. Like, oh my God.
Right.
Like we were all just like, I want to put him in my pocket. Like, yeah. He's so sweet.
He's the sweetest. God, I hope they keep him. Because he's just delightful. His interviews are hilarious.
Oh my God, so good.
Yep.
I'm already a big fan of him.
Yep.
So yeah, at the end of the second period, the score was 5-3 in favor of the Flyers, which was great. And Kuzmenko had another great opportunity in the third, and I'm just really excited to keep watching him with this team. But the period stayed scoreless for the most part. With 3 minutes left, the Oilers pulled their goalie, and then Rasmus Ristolainen sealed the game with an Esa Lindell-style empty net goal from clear across the rink.
Yeah.
Just super long bomb, super precise, bullseye right in the middle, empty net goal.
Yeah, no, it was one of those like off the rafters, bounce off the seat, nothing but net. Like it was just so far away.
So precise, so good. Nobody had a chance of doing anything with it. It was just great. I highly recommend finding and watching it because I loved it.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was a really good way to start the day.
It was great. It was a great game. I love it when they play well.
I know. It's nice. No, they just seem to be vibing.
Yep.
The vibes were really good.
Vibes were good.
So then we moved on later that evening to the Stars playing.
My God, it's a double header.
Double header. So the Stars are in New Jersey playing the Devils. There was no Otter this game, which makes sense because they're on a back-to-back. They're playing again tonight.
Yep.
But I always repress the existence of our backup goalie, so it's a shock to the system when he's suddenly there on my screen.
Yeah.
But we have Otter in tonight's game, so yay.
Okay.
So 4 minutes into the game, Dodonov got us on the board with the first shot of the game. And it's nice to be on this side of it for once. Usually we're the ones getting scored on the first shot of the game.
True.
That happens to us a lot, it feels like. So it wasn't a super glamorous goal, but it got the job done. You know, he's just always looking for opportunities. And I just really wish everyone on the Stars had his level of diligence.
Yeah, he's worth the money or what. He's just so... He's the plug and play guy, right? He'll do he'll do whatever you need. Like, my God, workhorse.
Yeah. No, he's the opposite of Instagram hockey.
He is not Instagram hockey.
He's the absolute opposite. He's just the do what you need to do to get it done. I don't care how it looks like. I'm going to get the puck in the net however I have to do it.
He's the LinkedIn of hockey. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, he's not the sexy social media.
No, he is definitely not. So that's great. So a minute later, Curtis Lazar from the Devils got a little too close to Nottinger at the other end, and Leon Bichsel said no thank you and gave him a stern talking to.
Yeah, Bichsel, man, what a guy.
Oh my God. I mean, I can't.
Well, we can talk about him on our Bichsel podcast.
Don't tempt me. I will start a Bichsel podcast. It'll be great. It won't be creepy at all. Yeah, no. Bichsel was just like, hey, don't breathe on my goalie. Thanks. And then Brendan Dillon took exception to that and tried to like start some shit with Bichsel and then somehow got an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how. I feel like it was maybe kind of soft, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe he said something really gross. I don't know what happened.
But Bichsel doing that is what I've been talking about. Like, if you get near the goalie, like, push your fist or your mitt or your glove. Push it in their face.
He's very sportsy, everybody. Fred's very sportsy.
Push him around. Like, they'll let that go. Like, let them know that that's not okay. And even if it's not injured, we don't care. You don't touch the goalie. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, we don't like him, but like, don't do that.
Right.
So, yeah, no, it's great. And then, he drew a penalty out of the whole thing, which was even better.
Yeah.
And like the ref had to like manhandle him off the ice because he was mad.
Yeah. He was like escorting him. He's like, no, you have to go to the bench.
Him by the elbow. And he's like, no, go sit down and think about things. And he was like, but I'm a big boy and I have feelings.
Exactly.
And he was like, go process your feelings on the bench, big boy. But it was great. The Stars won on the power play. And, power play has been looking good since January. And Thomas Harley scored a power play goal.
Love that.
Mr. Canada.
Mr. Canada.
Because why not?
Yeah.
And then that wasn't Bichel's only physical moment in the game.
Nope.
At one point, he stapled Dawson Mercer into the boards. And Mercer kind of tried to like sneak in between him and the boards. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, no.
Yeah.
And
bad move.
Razor described it as the Toblerone trauma tunnel.
The Toblerone trauma tunnel. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, because Bichel's Swiss and Toblerone's Swiss. And he was trying to squeeze into a narrow little passage and he sure got traumatized.
Yeah.
But it was great because the other defensemen, like Dumba and Lindell, were just like grinning at him and like showing him the replays of the hit.
Oh, that's the one they were watching on the bench?
Yes, they were showing the replay of it on the iPad and they were all like grinning, including Bichsel.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, haha, that was a real good hit.
No. Yeah.
I mean, they were talking about his hits on
they were.
The broadcast. I didn't take notes on it or something, but like...
No, he's had like 46 hits since January or something in like 9 games or something ridiculous.
It was like 64 or something.
Was it?
Even more. It's
nuts.
Yeah. He has, I think, the 4th most hits out of rookies in the NHL, but he's only played a fraction of the games because he came up late in the season.
Exactly.
He, I think, has more hits than like the rest of the Stars combined at this point, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
He's a big boy and he likes to hit, but he hits so like clean and responsibly.
He's just doing his job.
He's just doing his job.
He's just out there working. I can't get over that. Him just being like, this is my job. I'm at work.
It's great. It makes me so happy. He's just like such a fun guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. There was a thing on Instagram. I can't remember exactly what it was, but when they announced on when the tournament was ending that he was moved back up, from activated back from the Texas Stars, which we always knew it was a paper transaction, but he was like, gotta go, work calls or something.
Yeah, exactly.
He's so cute. I don't know. I just can't handle it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was great. So he was great, and the other defensemen were very proud of their baby freight train, which was so cute.
Yeah, no.
So at the end of the first, the Stars were up 2-0, and then the game stayed that score for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of settled in, but I mean, stuff still happened.
Yeah.
The Stars did go on a 4-minute power play because Oscar Beck got high sticked in the face.
He did. Yeah.
And we learned from one of the Stars beat reporters that he wears braces and does not wear a mouth guard.
Yeah, well, you don't need a mouth guard if you got braces, right? Oh my God.
I mean, maybe it's like super uncomfortable with the braces. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so that was unfortunate. So anyway, he was bleeding.
There was another Stars face catastrophe possibility.
Face-tastrophe.
The Stars in their faces.
Yeah.
You have to get that Marchment Frankenstein helmet.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Marchment's out of the fishbowl, but he has Frankenstein together like a visor and then like almost like a football helmet at the bottom.
It's like he made it at home. He's like, can I wear this? And they're like, yeah, fine.
They're like, whatever, as long as you leave it on at the side of the bench. Oh my God. Yeah. So that was great. We had a 4-minute power play. That was great. We didn't do anything with it. Man,
the Jersey's penalty kill was just high energy. Like, they don't seem to get tired.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It is like so offensively dangerous.
Right. They're like pressing the whole time, and it doesn't seem like a problem.
Yeah, no, like defensively they swarm and then they just can flip the momentum so quickly. So that was totally insane. Both goaltenders had some great saves along that stretch. Nottinger in particular, I hate to say it, but he looked really great.
Nottinger out there was just crushing it.
He had fantastic saves all game.
Yeah. No, his save percentage is like, I know he doesn't play that many games, but like the dude is like out of control.
Yeah.
At least in the second half of the season here.
Right. Yeah. If you ignore the first couple of games,
I guess he was
a disaster. So Jack Hughes did end up scoring 2 goals.
Yeah.
Which was unfortunate.
Yep.
But Duchesne scored another goal, and then Wyatt at the end stole a puck and scored an empty net goal with 8 seconds left. So we finalized the win 4-2.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Stars came strong out of the gate, which was really nice.
Yeah, it was good. I think it's good that they won that because I feel like if New Jersey gets their shit together, maybe just a little bit, like they're dangerous.
It really felt like a very evenly matched game throughout. Like they had us on our heels a lot of the time. A lot of the time it looked like we were playing catch up with them.
Yeah. Yeah. If they could just make things click and finish, like, yikes, watch out. Yeah. And also, I know we mentioned this, but Jack Hughes plays sexy hockey. Like those goals, I don't know what it is about those goals, but I was like, that's Instagram hockey. They should probably go beat him up because it was like good looking. Like it just looked good.
It's just pretty. Like it's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is not unsexy. It is sexy. Like it's just
he's at the anti-Dodonov side of the spectrum.
Right, exactly. He and Dodonov opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
It's great. So I don't know. Fun game to watch.
Fun game.
Especially because we won.
Yeah. That was a good game to win. They could have lost that if New Jersey just clicked a little bit more.
Yeah. Big time.
Yep.
All right. Well, we have something we've been calling game time. They're not really called games, though. So I've kind of rebranded it in my head as optional activities.
Optional activity.
Yeah. So I came up with one last night and emailed you in the middle of the night, as I do.
Yep. And I looked at it right before the podcast.
As you do. So Thomas Harley last night in his post game, he was asked about Leon Bichsel's physicality. And he said, it's big for us. We really don't hit very much. So to have someone back here with a little snarl and a little meanness to his game is big for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately said to myself, Leon Bichsel is a big cat.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the snarl.
Snarl.
And then I was like, we've talked in the past about different Dallas Stars being different animals. And we've said, that might make a good exercise for the podcast someday. And then we never got around to it.
Sure.
So this time, let's do it.
All right. We'll see.
Seems like the right time.
We'll see what I came up with.
So I sent you a list of a couple different Dallas Stars players.
Yep.
And I thought we could just sort of talk about who we think they are as animals.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to start with Leon Bichsel since he kicked this whole thing off.
Yeah.
So obviously I thought big cat. So specifically, I'm going with a melanistic jaguar.
What's that mean?
So it's like a Black Panther, but Black Panthers could be various different kinds of big cats. It can be like a tiger, or a jaguar, or a cougar.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not like a specific thing.
All right.
So out of all the Black Panthers, melanistic jaguars are the biggest.
Yep.
They have stocky builds, but they're also fast and agile. They're stealthy and strategic hunters, and they can be patient and calculating, only striking when the time is right. They're quietly confident and move with confidence and precision. They're at the top of the food chain and rarely back down from a challenge. They have the strongest bite force of any big cat, and they're solitary and independent, often relying on their own instincts.
I think that's pretty good.
Right? Even though he's definitely part of the team, he still feels like he's kind of on his own, doing his own thing. Like he's just like...
He's an island.
He is an island.
Yeah.
He's the Swiss Alp is how people call him online.
He is the Swiss Alp.
He's the Swiss Alp. He's just a solitary dude who just is going out there. But yeah, it's like, with Panthers, they just sneak up on you. You don't know. You're just minding your own business. And then all of a sudden you get pounced on and you're fucking dead.
Right.
And that's the thing with him. Like he doesn't, he just sneaks up on people. As big as he is, he's also real fast and real stealthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely Black Panther vibes, but specifically the Jaguar because those are the biggest one.
All right. Well, I like that. Well, I went with gorilla just because he said gorilla one time and I can't get that out of my head. Like if he thinks he's a gorilla, then all right, you're a gorilla.
I mean, that's what I would have said before too, because he did say that in an interview.
Yeah.
That he's a gorilla, but...
Yeah, gorillas get mad and gorillas cook risotto. Like...
That's him in a nutshell.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have anything creative for him.
So how about Jamie Benn? What'd you think for Jamie Benn?
Jamie Benn, I went with just a lion.
I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. But like one of those lions that's just kind of like doing his own thing and doesn't want to be bothered. But when he gets bothered, he's like, oh, all right. By the way, I'm a lion. Here we go.
That's very accurate. He's just kind of the old cranky lion. He's like, oh, I'm not like a young lion anymore. I don't want to like fight and like do all this stuff. Like I'm retired.
Yeah. He's like, can't I just sit by the watering hole? No.
I just want to lay in the sun.
Right.
Oh, I can't believe I have to defend these whippersnappers again.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
But then he's like, all right, well, here we go. I can do it. I'm a lion. I remember how to do this stuff. So
it's my job. I guess I'll do it. So on ice, Jamie is a beast.
Yeah.
But off ice, I think he's a different creature entirely. And that's what I leaned into. I can't help but think of him as a cow.
A cow?
He has this very quiet, steadfast energy. He has those big brown eyes.
Yep.
He's very taciturn and almost placid, you know. He's just sitting there. You just kind of get the impression he'd just like to be staying in a field, just chewing on something and thinking about nothing in particular. He's quiet, you know. He doesn't want to deal with the complications of human life. He just wants to chew on stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
So, and I also think, you know, Wyatt Johnston has an art print of a Highland cow in his apartment.
He does. And he has that like one print of a Highland cow that like everybody has. Like he probably got it at Target.
And I think it reminds him of his team dad. So that's why he got it. If you look, they have very similar eyes. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right. So next person I have is Dodonov.
Yeah, this was a challenge for me.
Me too, actually.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know. Anyway, I went with Beaver.
Interesting. I want to hear about that.
So he's a hard worker. And it just seems like he's compelled to get whatever job he needs to get done, whether it's building a dam or whether it's scoring a goal.
Yeah.
And I just feel like Beavers are like, do. Oh, there's some wood. Okay, got to do my thing. And I just feel like he's like, oh, there's a puck. Okay, got to do my thing. I don't know.
Very industrious.
Yeah. Industrious. That's a great word for it.
Yeah. I had a similar thought. I went with a mule for him.
A mule, yeah.
I think it captures a lot of his game. You know, he can play on any line whenever and wherever you need him without complaint and get the job done. You know, mules, you just kind of tell them what to do and they do it.
You just load them up with the whatever you load mules up with and you go to the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Exactly. He's strong. He's stubborn. Sometimes it feels like he just muscles through and gets the puck in the net. He doesn't really care how it looks like. It's just through sheer force of will. And they aren't the flashiest, which might be part of why he's so underrated, but he gets the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, mules are definitely not flashy.
No, for sure they are not. How about Thomas Harley?
Harley took me a minute, but I went with Border Collie.
Oh, I could see that.
It just seems like he's a Border Collie. Like he's rounding things up and on the outside there looking in and trying to keep things calm. And I don't know.
So my initial instincts with Thomas Harley was, you know, the meme where there's like a tiny blue-eyed horse in a hat and it says, I'm obsessed with this therapy horse that looks like it has the soul of a murdered Victorian era child.
I guess I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, anyway, that was where my thoughts initially went.
All right.
But that seemed a little too specific. So I thought about it some more and I ended up on Barn Owl.
Barn owl. I looked at a picture of an owl and I was like, are any of these players owls? And I didn't come up with that. But yeah, I like that.
They have kind of like this eerie like wisdom to them. You know, Harles is young, but he has this sort of like maturity beyond his years.
Yeah.
And he just seems to have a lot going on, but he's quiet about it. They also have this kind of off-putting way of staring and blinking. Owls do. That kind of reminds me of him in his interviews. And they're skilled hunters, and it's kind of like the way he chases down a puck during OT to get those game winners.
Yeah.
So that's where I went. But yeah, something sort of bird-like with him. He's got those...
I like it.
Those beady bird eyes, meant positively.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. All right. So Wyatt Johnston, I know you were struggling with
I didn't come up with anything. I think he's a cat, but like... not like a specific breed. He's like a specific cat. You know how you're like cats have personalities? Be like, just find the one that's like Wyatt Johnston and be like, that's the cat.
Yeah, he is a one very specific house cat, but you don't know which one.
Yeah. He's not like a Siamese or a cat breed or anything. He's a house cat.
Yeah.
Probably short hair.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. He was probably adopted. He was adopted, yes. All right. Anyway.
From a shelter.
From a shelter. Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, that checks out. I ended up going meerkat for him.
Yeah.
So meerkat are very alert and observant, and they're constantly watching their surroundings. You know, Wyatt is a fantastic two-way player, and he has great puck awareness.
Yeah.
So I think that checks out. Meerkats are really energetic and playful, and you can see that with him, like when he and Harley are play fighting on the ice. You know, they always like to crash into each other during warm-ups. And meerkats are also very team-oriented. They live and work in groups, and they look out for each other. And I feel like that's Wyatt in a nutshell, especially the way he is trying to parent all the new baby stars, despite the fact that he is also still a baby.
Right. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
He also just kind of looks like a meerkat.
He does. Yeah. No, I think you've nailed this one.
Yeah. Can't you just kind of imagine him like craning his neck, looking around?
I can. I think he does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just meerkat energy for real.
Yeah.
What about Essa Lindell? What'd you think about for Essa?
Essa Lindell was tough for me as well, but I went with a Maine Coon cat.
Okay. What led you there?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Just the vibes.
Yeah, I looked up like animals that live in Finland, and like they just have like normal animals over there.
Right.
And no, I couldn't come up with anything for him. He just is competent. I don't know.
All right. I went with capybara.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, so they're just really happy and friendly. Like they get along with all creatures. Like any kind of creature you can think of, like capybaras will hang out with them.
Yeah.
I don't know that Essa is like super social the way a capybara is, but I can imagine all kinds of people wanting to flock to him and just sort of soak up his good vibes because he is just such a happy, cheerful
He's a
person.
positive dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And capybaras are just very sort of humble and unassuming and just go with the flow, which is a vibe I get from him. So that's just kind of the energy he gives off to me.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. What about Mason Marchment?
Mason Marchment, Malamute.
Yeah, that checks out.
Just the eyes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But like a Malamute that's like growing up and like learning to control its body.
A teenage Malamute.
A teenage Malamute, like that maybe had, you know, like when horses are born and they come out and their like legs are all shaky. It's like a Malamute like that.
Yeah.
But he's getting better. He's building strength.
I mean, I saw somebody describe Mason Marchment online once as a drunken baby giraffe, and I've never been able to think of him
Drunken baby giraffe, yeah.
He just is so sort of awkward with the legs everywhere, all akimbo.
Yeah, I still see him in like the dog world or the lupine kind of like wolf kind of.
Yeah, those eyes definitely have that. I did also kind of think maybe of kangaroo. Because like they're big and powerful, but they're also kind of fucking goofy looking.
They are goofy.
And like they're dangerous like when you piss them off, but they're also kind of playful.
They are, yeah. I don't know. Now when I think of kangaroos, like the last kangaroo I saw was like one of those ripped ones that's like fighting dudes. And that's all I think of now with kangaroos.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's kind of what holds me back. I think I got to stick with drunken baby giraffe.
I think drunken baby giraffe. Yeah. The kangaroos.
Just so hapless.
Kangaroos out there bench pressing stuff just is weird to me.
Yeah. I think I'm with you. I think I got to stick with drunken baby giraffe for me.
Love it.
All right. What about your best friend, Jason Robertson?
What did you do for Jason Robinson? Jason Robinson.
ESPN's favorite player, Jason Robinson. Okay, so immediately I went bug with him.
Ooh, okay.
Because his hair sticks out of his helmet and those little tufts, like little bug antenna.
Oh, so yeah.
That was where I went.
I like that.
So I went with Ant. I do think he works hard and I think he's good at what he does. And I think sometimes he gets lost in the crowd, which can be a little frustrating because I think that we know that he can be better, but he just doesn't take it to the next level because he just likes chilling out on the ant farm with his ant bros and just being part of the ant party.
Yeah.
But like he could be the queen ant or whatever they have.
Sure.
But he doesn't want to.
No.
Like, he doesn't want to be
He's a worker ant.
Yeah, he's a worker ant. And like that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you could be more. And he's like, but I'm a worker ant.
Right.
And I'm hanging out with my ant bros. And it's like, okay, fine, I guess.
Yeah. I did consider Ant for Dodonov as well.
I could see that too. Yeah.
And now that you mentioned bug like that, yes, absolutely. But the hair tuft also maybe like quail. I could have gone with quail.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
That'd be funny. But I went with Basset Hound. He's just like, do. Oh, I'm in the right place. Oh, goal. Sorry, Jason Robinson.
Give the man some respect. Learn his name.
I know. He's doing okay.
Yeah. He's doing his
I just want to make fun of him, though.
I know. It's true. You just want to project something onto him.
I do. Yep.
And that's fine.
Yep.
And that's good. Well, the other end of the spectrum, we've got Tyler Sagan.
Yeah. Poodle.
Poodle's great.
Poodle.
Why'd you go poodle?
Because he's a poodle.
He has a poodle. I mean, the hair. He has poodle hair.
Yeah. Everything you think about a poodle, just you can apply it to Sagan.
Yeah.
Right?
Pampered lapdog.
Yep.
Yep.
No. He's a full-size poodle.
Oh, like a standard poodle.
He's a standard poodle with like the haircut and the pom-poms on the legs and he's got some kind of like hair clip and
haircut.
yeah. He's straight up just like one of those poodles.
He does the shows and he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of went along a similar line, but a different route. I went peacock.
I literally almost went peacock.
I do love poodle though.
Yeah.
Especially because he's got the curly hair. But yeah, peacock's, he's got a lot of swagger and confidence. He likes to show off his tattoos and his muscles in much the same way a male peacock might show off his tail feathers.
Yep.
And he's just kind of like flamboyant and bold.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, when I came up with poodle, peacock was on my list because I searched up on the old Google machine animals that think that they're pretty. And I had to refine it a little bit after that, but it was like animals that are very like into themselves and peacock was on the list, but also poodle was on the list. I was like, poodle.
Yep, there you go. So we really did kind of get there from the same place.
Yeah.
And then finally, we got to finish with, this is really, I think, the first person we ever talked about what animal they were, and it's Logan Stankoven.
Yeah. Now, are you sticking with honey badger?
I'm not actually. I moved away from honey badger.
Okay, because he does have straight up honey badger energy.
He 100% has honey badger don't give a fuck energy for
Absolutely.
real.
Yeah.
But I looked a little bit more, and after going into a deep dive of animal characteristics, I'm feeling more Wolverine vibes.
I have Wolverine on my list.
Haha, nice.
I have 3 for him, and Wolverine's first.
Awesome. All right. What other ones did you have?
Honey badger.
Yes. Yeah. No, honey badger was a close second for me.
Or a pug.
Okay.
Yeah, no reason. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, I don't know if I see pug.
Yeah, no.
Let's go back to Wolverine. I'll hear your Wolverine.
I have no reason for it. I don't know a thing about a Wolverine.
Okay, well, here, I can tell you because
right.
I also went on the Google machine and looked up animal qualities.
Yep.
So Wolverines are small. They're usually in the 20 to 55 pound range, but they've been known to fight much bigger animals, including wolves and bears.
That's what I'm talking about.
Much like Stank isn't afraid to take on bigger players. Wolverines are constantly on the move. They cover large distances while they're hunting, which fits with Stank's relentless style of play.
Never stops.
And words used to describe Wolverines include aggressive, tenacious, fearless, and confident.
Yeah.
All of which I think sum up Logan. Yeah, I think honey badgers are a little more vicious.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, Wolverines are still plenty vicious, don't get me wrong. But honey badgers have maybe a little bit more of an unhinged quality.
Yeah.
I don't know if Logan Stankoven has.
They're just bumping along doing their thing and then they go nuts.
Right.
Where Wolverine's like always on.
Wolverine's like working. Like Wolverine's got a game plan.
Right.
Honey badgers seem a little more reactive, maybe.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, good. That was my first choice too. So
perfect. I like how we both got to the same place. Me with like actual animal behavioral knowledge and you just on the vibes.
Yeah. No, I looked up I don't know. I saw Wolverine like on a list and I was like, yeah, that's probably a Wolverine because probably not a honey badger. I don't know why, but Wolverine makes sense.
We'll see. Well, I think this was fun. I think we should maybe do the rest of the team another time.
The rest of the team? Isn't that the whole team?
No, there's still more players. I know. Crazy.
Yep. I did consider otters, like an otter for somebody. I can't remember who, but Otter's the otter. I mean, you kind of have to go with that, I guess.
You kind of do. I do think he's taken on some otter personality characteristics.
Yeah.
It's actually why I skipped including him in the game because
it's too easy.
It's too easy.
Yep.
It's simply too easy. Well, that's the end of regulation for this week's episode of Ice is Slippery. You can find us on Tumblr, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at Ice is Slippery Pod. You can also email us at iceisslipperypod@gmail.com, where we'd love to get suggestions for optional activities and hear your hockey hot takes. Until next week, stay out of the penalty box. Yeah, so it's good. And Harley got a point.
No. No, we're doing something.
We're busy. You got to go.